Alright guys, here's what I've been working on. This is a 150 watt or a 250 watt cheap eBay welder, DC welder. And I've installed, it's pretty ugly, but I've installed an H bridge, and I'm converting this DC welder into a TIG welder. So basically to make a TIG welder, you just got to have an AC pulsed output that's controlled, So all I did was make an H bridge using some big MOSFETs, and then I would put in a whole bunch of extra aluminum heat cooling and all that, so that's why it looks so messy. And I put some nice connections. I use these thick wire and this copper piping as connections, and yeah, some of it's kind of rough looking. Hopefully I didn't overheat the MOSFETs, but I'm getting close to being done. This will be the controller. It's got MOSFET driver chips, and it's got 3 temperature sensors, which are the temperatures at the top, and those temperature sensors will go on the MOSFETs and make sure they don't overheat. And it'll also control, this is a solenoid for the gas, the argon gas. And the outputs will just come out where the outputs come out. And I need to cut this face, and this will get stuck in there like that. And yeah, so I'm making a TIG welder out of a cheap DC welder. And you just got to pulse it, and it's got to be pulsed at like 70% positive and 30% negative, or the other way around. I forget which way it goes. So I'm just using an H bridge, and I kind of got delayed because I got all this metal, but I ran out of thermal paste. So I finally got that in the mail, so I can work towards finishing this. And hopefully my MOSFETs weren't damaged from overheating them, trying to solder this big stuff to the legs. I probably went overboard, but I didn't want any extra resistance added because these are super low resistance MOSFETs, and I don't want to overdraw them. So yeah, and then so I got all that, and then if we go into this other room, I've got all the stuff to finish it up, the TIG welding tips and the hoses and the gas valve, and I got a tank of argon gas and all that. So it's going to be should get finished up by this weekend, hopefully. I can try it out, test it, and make sure these MOSFETs are going to hold up. That's kind of questionable. I might have to fork out the money for better MOSFETs or IGBTs or whatever, but these should work out. I mean, they're good for 110 amps continuous and 300 amps pulsed, so they should work out, I'm hoping. And if not, I'll monitor the temperature, and if they get too hot, then I'm gonna have to just buy some different ones. But really all I did was add a bunch of extra aluminum and an H bridge, and another thing I'm gonna have to try to figure out is I got several different fans I've got laying around. I need to put a big fan on it. I got one back there too. A nice big fan on it to keep all this stuff cool, because the cooling is the main thing that determines how well the MOSFETs hold up. So once I get this figured, I'm going to have to take all this back apart now that I got plenty of thermal paste, and put thermal paste in between all the aluminum pieces and the MOSFETs, and put it back together and finish it up and see if it works. And the only thing that wouldn't work, the only reason why it wouldn't work is if I need to get different MOSFETs, but at least, I'll have the the foundation made, and I can just swap out the MOSFETs with whatever it does need if they don't work out and if they get too hot too quick or whatever, So yeah, this is what I've been working on for a while. I've been focusing on this and instead of some other things. So yep, here it is.